Hello. Oh, wait there. Hold on a second. Can you hear me all right? Oh, I can't hear you. Hold on, let me just change my settings on here and see if that's one of those. Try that. No, I can't hear you. Gotta love Zoom. I swear, like half of Zoom meetings are just spent going, can you hear me?
One,
I
two,
can hear
one.
you.
Oh, there we go.
Am I loud enough?
Yes, you're. Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay.
Don't worry about levels. I'll be editing it later on as we go. As I put all my shows together, I've just been collating songs ready to throw into the mix at the moment.
Okay.
And also I'm doing a segment later on in the show called Cover Hit Jukebox.
Oh, nice.
Which is just hit songs, but just done by cover artists and just for a bit of fun.
Oh, well, that sounds awesome.
Yeah. I will admit that isn't my room that you're looking at on my.
It's a TARDIS, isn't it?
It's the one that I claim as my own. It's not the actual one at the moment.
Oh, right.
Yes, I'm a big fan. So, right. So the first thing let's get started. Has lockdown made changes for you?
Yeah, definitely, because not gigging, tours cancelled, all that kind of stuff, not being able to rehearse and be in the studio. It's been interesting.
We say it's been interesting. Has it what ways? How's it affected in terms of doing songwriting and just generally doing recording at home for yourself?
I'm pretty lucky because I did an audio production degree, so I've got quite a lot of equipment at home that I've built up over the years, and I'm able to record at home quite well. But it does mean that pretty much actually all my records that came out in 2020 and coming out for the foreseeable as well were kind of done at home. I released 3 singles and a 4-track EP, all done remotely, apart from the drums for the EP, which we managed to get into the studio in January.
So has it been a learning curve for you to learn how to do things from home and coordinate?
Really now. It's just been good to be able to take the time and not have the pressure of being in the studio and say, okay, well, we've got the studio for so many hours. We can take more time about how we record things, about the parts, and it's actually been nice to take the pressure off. It's nice to be in the same room as well, and I'm looking forward to going back. But yeah, it's been a good change.
I can imagine, because I've been on the front line over the past year with this, so I know what it's like to do the hours and be out there for other people as well.
Mm-hmm.
Also with lockdown, has it opened up you to do other projects that you haven't had the time to do?
Yeah, well, I'm the kind of person, like, I'll say, oh yeah, I've got loads of free time, and then the next minute I've got like no free time because I've just filled it all. I've sort of been taking a bit of time to expand my gig promotions company into something a little bit bigger, which hopefully I'll be launching in springtime this year. And just doing projects like this Girl Talk project that's coming out in March, probably wouldn't have come about or wouldn't be the same as it is now if it wasn't for lockdown. So I am quite thankful to have that extra time and be able to do stuff like this.
How did Girl Talk come about?
Basically, I had a conversation. I vaguely remember having a conversation with a friend, and something was said, something to do with girl talk as the phrase was said, and I was like, I'm gonna write a song called Girl Talk. And then the sort of process carried on. I'm gonna write a song called Girl Talk, and then I'm gonna release it on International Women's Day. Don't know which International Women's Day, but I'm gonna. And then I didn't really think too much of it for about a couple of weeks, and then I started getting little bits of lyric in my head and some melody going on. I was like, all right, I'm going to sit down and write this song. I wrote it and I pitched it to a couple of friends, and we were going to do it as a trio, and we were trying to do a sort of co-write session, but I don't know, the creativeness wasn't quite flowing, so I ended up going away and rewriting it a couple of times by myself, and then I came out with the version that is the final version. And then it just kind of took on its own life and grew and grew and grew into the monster that it is now.
Well, that is the thing, that great ideas don't always necessarily come from being with other people. Sometimes they can be the start, but you go away and think about it a bit, and then you write it as you have done.
Mm-hmm. It was definitely a sort of slow burn one at the start, and then it just went mental.
So what were your plans at the start before the year that has been?
So my plans overall were to play lots of festivals. I was supposed to have a tour with Emma Moore. We were supposed to do a co-headline tour around the UK and stuff, but obviously that didn't happen. And then I managed to carry on recording projects and do these singles and this EP and get on to Girl Talk.
And I don't know where I'm going now. Have you found it hard during lockdown to, in general, or as well as just socially, and what has been advice for you that's helped you get through?
I think it has been tough, and the various lockdowns have hit differently. The first one, it was still summer, so it was all right, mood wise. Like, it was sort of like, oh well, this isn't ideal, but at least we can sort of sit outside and it's sunny and the weather's nice. And then the second one was a little bit like, okay, this is getting a bit weird now, but okay, let's be productive and carry on. And then this one's just like, all right, we're just taking the mick at this point. But we're working through it. I'm working from home now. I'm not furloughed anymore, so I'm set up to work remotely, and I've picked up a second job as well, just to sort of be able to carry on and do things.
Yeah, I know the feeling, because even through the first lockdown, I was probably home 1 or 2 days a week, and then out working on the contracts, and then moved around a bit. And then second lockdown came, and then I was still contract that I was on had finished, but I was working maybe 5 or 6 days or nights a week.
Yeah, wow.
The rest of the right through till December. And that was, I wouldn't say it was probably at times it felt like hell, because obviously you're doing the same thing night in, night out, but it slowly became, I got used to it. And then there were nights where I was like, really, I just want this to be over. But I mean, the only time when I took longer than probably 1 or 2 days off was when I took holiday for myself, because there has to be a line where you say, you got to take care of yourself,
and you got to think about yourself and take care of yourself and stuff. It is important. I think definitely at the minute as well, with everything that everyone's going through, it is very important.
Yeah. And even I've said, this is good. I'm going to give a sneak preview to one of the opening lines in the first show. Is I actually talk about this, and I sort of say, if you know friends and family that are isolating or on furlough during this whole time, pick up the phone, email them. You do not know how it can change someone's day to just have that phone call from someone that they know.
For sure, keeping in touch. Like, even though I keep saying over all of this, like, we're really lucky to have the internet. So we can actually say, I know it's not the same, but it's some sort of connection, which is good. And there are some people who are just on their own, and I can't imagine being in lockdown by yourself and not being able to see anybody at all. So it's definitely worth that. It's good advice, and it's definitely worth picking up the phone or just shooting an email over and checking in like, hey, you all right? That's all it needs to be.
Yeah, because someone could easily be having the worst day, and to just get that phone call, it can make the whole world of difference. Because mental health, even in this time, is not. I don't think it's a joke. It's not everybody is built to deal with being locked in lockdown like we are, and they'll struggle.
For sure.
I mean, I think I'm probably slightly struggling, but I'm just glad that I'm working rather than being at home, not doing anything at all. So I've got something that keeps me going, but also, again, advice for anybody else is just find something in your day, just get it structured. Don't just stay in bed and do nothing.
Exactly.
It's
That's good advice.
Yeah, it's not good for you. Were you on tour when everything changed, or were you at home?
No, we were about to go out on tour, so we'd booked everything and we were ready to go, and then it all got cancelled. Luckily we hadn't printed the t-shirts yet. But yeah, it sucked, and it was a bit of a blow, but you know, you've got to take the good with the bad and make the most out of a situation, which hopefully I've done.
Well, you make the most of what you get given. Well, you're hoping to get back out on tour, and obviously once this whole thing hopefully starts getting better for everybody.
Yeah.
What are your plans for the foreseeable?
Definitely focusing on Girl Talk and getting all the promo out there. It's coming out on the 8th of March, which is International Women's Day, so we're going to have a big old celebration for that, with all the female performers that are featured on it. There is something that's coming up about a week after it as well, to do with the single, that I'm not saying too much about yet, but it's something to look out for. So if you follow my social media pages, you'll definitely see the news.
Who've you got lined up for Girl Talk?
We've got about 22 to 23 female performers, and I will just grab all the names. I can reel off a few names. I won't go through all of them because we'll be here forever. But some of the ones that maybe you're familiar with if you're in the UK country music scene are people like Louise Parker, Kira Mack, Katie Hurt, Joey Clarkson, Georgia Nevada, Emma Moore, Jade Helliwell. We've got Jess T, who's also a radio presenter as well. Becky Lawrence. We've got Rachel Selleck, who runs Scarlet River Management as well. So it's not just pure performers on there as well. We've got amazing females that do all sorts of other things as well, and run their businesses and just are very fierce and wonderful.
Yeah, I'm familiar with Becky, Louise, and Joey, who I actually have met and seen twice live in London over the last couple of years.
They're awesome.
Hopefully I've got Joey lined up at some point to do for a chat to be on the show at some point.
Yeah.
I've as I say, I'm arranging them left, right, center, but trying to revolve them around work so that I can put the shows together and then put them out as soon as I can. I don't know yet when the shows are going out. I'm trying to get that sorted, but as soon as I get them together, I'll let other people know when and where they can find it.
Yeah.
And I think if I'm right, let me just check. When I'm obviously, but this was way before going into lockdown. I've started running a Spotify playlist called ECFM New Stars, and I've actually got there's at least a couple of tracks of yours on there.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
I've got Women Like Me and Outlaw on there at the moment, but there's plenty of others on there, such also Joey's and Becky's and a whole number of tracks on there for people, because I go away looking for stuff, and get told recommended stuff by other people to go and have a listen to, and I'm always surprised. And
recommendations are a good way for us to find new music as well.
And back when I actually did shows on the radio, I don't always just play stuff that's in the charts. I'd always just sort of throw you guys in as well, just so you got that bit of airplay that you so richly deserve.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Just for people, so how can they find you on social media?
Pretty easy. Everything's under Emilia Quinn Music. It's Emilia. It's a very exotic spelling. I don't know. It's European. But yeah, EmiliaQuinnMusic.com is my website. All my socials are listed on there as well. And I've got Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all the usual. And if they want to catch up with any news to do with Girl Talk or anything else, then drop us a follow.
That's great. And I'll also make sure to share that on my page as well. That's Ben Dyson on ECFM 107.6, and so that people can find you as well and share it with their friends.
Awesome, thank you.
And so thank you for that. And I'll send you this as soon as it's finished.
Amazing. Thank you for having me.
You're so welcome, and welcome back anytime.
Thanks.
Take care.
Thank you.